Extreme Heat Watch. Those are 3 words you're going to be hearing all week long. Welcome in, everybody. I'm meteorologist Jason Mikell, alongside our executive weather producer, Terry Eliasen, and we have a lot of things to talk to you about this week.
Yeah, it's going to be a scorcher.
Yes, it's going to be a scorcher.
I think a lot of folks are off this week. This is certainly one of the more popular vacation weeks leading into the 4th of July on Saturday. And I guess you would probably rather have hot and humid than like rainy and cool. Right?
Yes.
So we're just trying to be positive, but it is going to be awfully darn hot later this week, and we have issued a weather alert for that. Let's get right to it.
In fact, we already have a lot of heat outside. It's unfortunate here on the final Monday of the month of June, everybody. And we already know this June has already been a very warm month already, and July is going to be pretty much taking a cue from the month of June here. We're talking about oppressive heat developing each day as we go throughout this week, but mainly between Wednesday and Friday of this week as well. So July 1st is beginning on Wednesday, and we're going to be leading towards a really, really heavy, sort of kind of dangerous air mass here with a lot of heat building in from the south. High humidity levels, as Terry mentioned there, with heat index values soaring into the triple-digit mark.
Yeah, so I mean, not only is it going to be hot on the thermometer, but it's going to feel even hotter. So 95 to 100 or 100 plus is hot enough, but when you get the add in the dew point, it could feel like 110, maybe as high as 115 at times. That is just kind of outrageous for this part of the country. And of course, you're living in Dallas and you're like, what's the big deal? But we don't experience that kind of stuff around here too often. So excessive heat watch is in effect. And like you said, we're picking up right where June left off. June has been, to date, the 5th warmest June on record in Boston. And of course, we're leaving on a couple warm days. We may even tick up a notch there. And July is going to start off with a bang for sure.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be extremely hot here. All right, warmest June on record, as Terry was mentioning. Just going to give you a look back at past years here. We're already tying number 5 with 1949. I'm sure that's not a close memory. But even as you look back towards 2021, it was a very active year here. Temperatures were really, really warm that year as well. And we haven't had a whole lot of recent years of being as hot, but still we've been hot. I mean, it's more or less been in an isolated kind of trend there. But again, look at the sort of lower 48 and how most of the hot and humid conditions are building across this really large heat dome across the center of the country. And that big plume is going to be beginning to move a little bit further up to the north and east.
Yeah, you can see the jet stream just surging into Canada over the next couple of days, and that sort of dome of heat dome, it moves ever so slowly from the central part of the country, and then just sets shop right up over the eastern half of the United States, and including us. So it's going to be record set from basically all along the East Coast, including our area. Some on Wednesday, but even more so on Thursday and Friday. And it's not as if we get a massive cold front, say Friday afternoon or Saturday to clear this thing out. We could be a few thunderstorms here and there, but the heat's going to linger into the weekend as well. Not as oppressive. We're not talking about 100-degree heat this weekend, but I think some folks could see 90 plus really from tomorrow right through Sunday. So I do think 90s will be on the map really for the rest of the week starting tomorrow. I think a lot of folks upper 80s, low 90s tomorrow, but it's sort of day one. We're just sort of easing our way into it tomorrow.
Slowly but surely. I actually haven't seen a sort of a zonal flow like that we just saw in the jet stream in quite a while. Like the jet stream is like well up to the northern border here. But as Terry mentioned, like we are going to kickstart a lot of the 90s beginning tomorrow, and that heat wave is going to carry us right on to 4th of July. By tomorrow, we have heat building across central and northern Mass well into the mid-90s. These are forecast highs, friends. These are not feels like temperatures. Feels like versus heat index, pretty much the same thing here. But you'll notice some areas, especially our metropolitan areas, are going to be the warmest here. We call that a little urban heat island effect. So the majority of America, at least the lower 48, is going to be dealing and also talking about a lot of heat when you're talking about Dallas, Chicago, D.C., Philly, New York, Boston, including that. Some really highly populated cities are going to be struggling later this week.
Yeah, just in time for the 4th. And a lot of times the wind direction matters a lot here in the summertime. And so what you'll notice, if you see those wind barbs are hard to pick up on these maps, but every one of these days, the wind starts off sort of southwesterly, and then it sort of veers to the west-northwest. There are no sea breezes here, unless you're on the south coast or the Cape. Of course, everything's a sea breeze down there, and that if you're looking for some relief, that's where you would go. But nonetheless, from, say, Boston and all the immediate Metro West, southwest, north, we're talking about basically 95 to 100 degrees here, starting on Wednesday, going through Friday. No relief from any onshore breezes. We're not talking any sort of east or northeasterly winds. It's west-northwesterly, and those, typically when we hit our record highs, it's on a west or northwesterly wind, because if you think about the topography, In Worcester County, we have the hills off to the west, and so the winds sort of funnel downward off of the hills to our west and northwest. And what that does to the air is it heats it up as it gets closer to the ground. So basically, Merrimack River Valley, Metro West, Boston, those are all the areas, even southern Hampshire, where 95 to 100 is almost a certainty for several days here. And we just keep going higher. Thursday may be the hottest day of the stretch. And interestingly enough, the records on Thursday, I believe we'll show it in a second. I think it's 98 on Thursday.
Wow.
I would definitely get 1 or 2 days of records here. But this is not, again, these are forecast air temperatures, not heat index.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes you kind of reconsider, do I actually want to grill? The air is going to be on fire. Do I actually want to
put the fan on
put
right
more
next to
like
you?
fire on this thing here? This is a look at Friday here, friends. So we're kind of trying to kind of step back just a wee bit. But bear in mind, the average daytime high for today on this, June 29th day is 80 degrees in the city. So by Friday, we're still going to be 20 degrees.
Yep.
Almost above where we should be for this time of year. And I believe we're going to be sort of kind of topside on our average daytime highs here pretty soon before we start to kind of go backwards here. But again, record highs, as you can see, for each and every day beginning on Wednesday to Thursday to Friday to Saturday could actually be contested in several locations, especially for us here once we look towards Thursday. Wednesday could be a tie. It could be a tie, but again, we're building at that point. So it is likely we're going to have new records set on Wednesday and Thursday, maybe Friday, and it is unlikely that we'll make another record come Saturday.
Yeah, those highs on Friday and Saturday, which is July 3rd and 4th, are among the highest that we've recorded in Boston. In fact, the 104 on July 4th is the hottest day ever recorded in Boston. That was on July 4th, 1911. So that's the high. That is sort of our peak.
That's the benchmark.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't rule out getting somewhere between 100 and 104 here in Boston on Thursday or Friday. I don't think it's impossible. We're not forecasting it. You see we have 100, 102. But this is one of those patterns where I think it's possible that 104, the warmest day ever recorded in Boston, could be in jeopardy. We'll have to see. I'm not sure anyone's rooting for that exactly. but yeah, as far as records go, I think Wednesday and Thursday are a real shot. And then it's just so hard to get 102, 104 degrees here. But we'll see. Yeah. You never know. And so I threw this graphic up there real quick. Some folks say, well, when was the last time we've had heat for this long or it's been this hot? Well, 4 years ago in July, we had from July 19th to the 25th, we had 7 straight days in Boston between 90 and 100, including that one record day, July 24th. So as far as recent memory goes, this may be the closest thing to, we're talking 6, 7 days of heat. July 2022 may be the most recent sort of example. I'm not sure anyone remembers that, but that was a very hot year, and we already had, I think we've had 7 90-degree days so far this summer, and we're going to pile on at least 5 or 6. So So I think this summer, no doubt, is going to go down as a pretty steamy hot one when we're all said and done. And, and then you got to add the dew points in, and it's just, this is when it gets just sort of
illegal.
Yes,
it's illegal. It's downright offensive at this point here. Yeah, a lot of moisture is going to be poured into the region there between Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. There's a low level risk for some isolated thunderstorms, as Terry was mentioning there. We don't have sort of a strong front arriving for us by the end of the week, but it will do something to our dew point temperatures once that frontal boundary passes. So we can actually start to see a little bit of relief, but the temperatures are still going to be well above normal as well. That darker green that you see, that really deep dark green, that means we got a lot of moisture moving into the area here. 70+ dew point temperatures. That reminds me of something down in like Louisiana over to Florida. That's really steamy, sweltering type of heat. Thank goodness, though, it arrives when the kids are now out of school, and it's buffering up against to a holiday as well. So a lot of people will actually be indoors, but also a lot of people will be outdoors enjoying the nice weather as well. But that also means a lot of our outdoor workers may or may not be protected since it's wrapping around a holiday. So as we look at our 7-day forecast, again, we're going to be kind of building in the heat as the week wears on here. Thursday, again, expected to be possibly the warmest day of the 7-day stretch. But I also want to draw your attention to the overnight lows. We're talking about overnight lows Wednesday night through early Thursday morning in the mid to upper 70s, even warmer by Friday morning, and possibly staying warm even on Saturday. So little to no relief for a lot of people that are truly susceptible to heat in the overnight hours. So this is when we really need to take care of ourselves with those heat-related dangers kind of knocking on our door. Yeah,
once we get mid to late week, these are not nights where you're going to want to open the windows and let the cool air in, because there just won't be any. And we didn't really touch in depth on Saturday, the 4th of July. Of course, I'm sure there's lots of plans and festivities going on. Doesn't look as hot as Thursday and Friday, but still probably well into the 90s in many areas. And I like how you just threw a thunderstorm here and there. There's really no organized storm or severe weather coming through, but I do think Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there'd probably be a pop-up here and there, but probably nothing to ruin the day by any means.
Right.
We're just going to be contending with the heat, really, through the weekend.
Just something to keep on your radar. But of course, we're here, and your Next Weather team will have you covered, everybody. Plant safety, dog safety, as a dog dad myself. Make sure you take care of the plants and also the pets here during this very hot stretch as well. We'll keep you updated here. Have a wonderful, safe Monday, everybody, and we'll join you later on.